Hey everyone, Tim T. Graham with RC Groups. We're here with Mike from Robart and ZAP, and Mike is bringing us a product, and I've got to tell you something, Mike. I have no idea how to use this product.
Have you ever even heard of it?
No, silicone tape it's called.
So right there. That's it. So this is the ZAP product. This is the ZAP silicone tape, part number PT-101. Many of you have probably seen this in your hardware stores around all of the garden department with your garden hoses and whatnot for sealing up holes or cracks in your garden hoses. It's probably where you've seen it. You probably never thought about using it on your RC aircraft. So, or in the hobby in general. So why don't I just go ahead and flip the screen over? Go over to the other camera. I'll show you a couple options on how we use it.
I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. So if you've gone to any of the shows, you've seen us demonstrating this. Let me get my knife out. Okay, so it comes in a roll. It's 1 inch thick. It's a 10-foot wide roll. And the black is the silicone tape. The clear cellophane, basically, that's just a protector. And what this is it's a glueless tape. Let me get in the middle. Sorry. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to wrap the tape around, touch it back to itself, give it a little massage, and the tape will actually bond directly to itself. Give it a minute or two, and it's going to be a permanent bond on there.
Wow, so this is not double stick tape. It's not sticky unless it's on itself.
Correct. It's a strip of silicone, basically, is what it is. It is waterproof. It is fuel resistant. It has, insulates up to 8,000 volts unstretched. So when you're at this thickness, okay, because it's got a stretch to it. And that's how you really get the bond is when you stretch it and then it touches back to itself and it re-grabs.
Got it. So I am always unwiring and rewiring things like almost every day. So would this be a great way to cover some wire connections?
Yep. But it is not removable. It's a permanent bond. Okay.
Okay, so you'd have to cut it off.
You'd have to cut it off. Now, in regards to wire connections, I know I have had this problem is on a zip tie. That edge is really sharp.
Right.
And over time, it will actually cut through the insulation on a wire.
Okay.
This is super soft and it will not cut through the insulation on your wire. So if I'm bonding two things, I just grabbed a couple acid brushes here, right? Or epoxy brushes, or however you like to call them, right? So what you're going to do is get it together, pull it tight, maybe put a second wrap on it, and that's it. And then you can cut the edge off. Right. And here's a little pro tip for you. If you want it really nice and clean edge, all right, instead of doing a straight one like this, because when you pull it, what's going to happen is see how the wings flare out?
Yeah.
What I do is I usually cut it to a point.
Right.
And now I'll pull it tight all the way around, and you don't get that flare, and you have a nice clean finish on it.
Awesome.
All right.
And if I needed to remove that, scissors could kind of get in between there and
scissors, a knife, whatever you need, and pops right off. And there's no gummy, there's no tape residue, nothing on that.
That is pretty cool. I've never seen it before.
So if you want to bind wires to a spar or to a tube inside of the plane, think about on your automobile. We talked about the garden hoses. It's waterproof. It'll seal up a crack in your garden hose.
Really?
A fuel line, if you want to seal up a fuel line.
What kind of temps is this good to?
That's a wonderful question.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. That's fine.
Good intel.
Yeah, right. I would have to get that. I don't have that off the top of my finger, but I know it can go with some pretty high temps. I don't. Um, it's here, and then we'll just kind of, if somebody wants to pause and see the back with the instructions and all of that, you can see that there. I don't have the temp. I apologize. I should have had that.
My question is, let's say you're rolling down the road and your radiator gets a hole,
Mm-hmm.
and radiators tend to run from 180 to 268. Could I solve my problem and get to the Napa store or something?
You might be able to. Now it does have a pressure breakage on it. We actually had a local municipality look at having all of their plow trucks carry this
Uh-huh.
for their lines, their hydraulic lines on the plows,
Okay.
because their hydraulic lines are constantly cracking with the cold and just
Right.
maintenance wise. It actually, I'll be honest, it did not hold up to that kind of pressure.
Sure.
Okay.
That's as high the pressure as you're ever going to get.
Right. Now, here's another fun one for you. We get a lot of questions of people on, hey, what's a great way we should be mounting our control boxes? This is our foam pad. What you'll do is you take the foam pad, put it to a block of wood. I'm just going to do this the quick way. You mount your block of wood, put a couple standoffs on it. I'm gonna make this. I'm actually gonna make this while we talk.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna put a couple standoffs here, a standoff there, a standoff here, and it's not gonna be super pretty because I'm just gonna do it the quick and dirty way. I got some slow zap. A little slow zap there, a little slow zap there, some accelerator. Here, it's pretty funny. I just grabbed the slow zap or my accelerator.
Yeah.
As I was traveling with this, I didn't want the cap coming off. So I just threw a little silicone tape around that cap to hold my cap on. All right. So I just broke that off and little spritz. All right, so here's the reason they did the standoffs is when you put it down on your plate or inside of your airplane, you need some room for the silicone tape to come around. So that's why I did that. Okay. So
Okay.
now when you're working on it, or if later on, if you needed to slide the silicone tape underneath, you could do so. Okay. So I don't know if I cut this long enough. Nope. I'll get a longer one. I'm going to take a whole chunk just to make it easy. Don't cut myself. Now, if you are done making your adjustments on your dip switches, type A, type B, and all your delays, you have a nice area right here. But you can see the silicone tape is just a little bit too wide. So what we'll do is I'm going to cut the silicone tape in half lengthwise.
Always tricky.
A nice sharp knife will handle that. Now, I've got a space right there. And I'm going to take the protective seal off the back. I'm going to slide it underneath. And hold that one side there. Pull this tight all the way around. Give it a little massage to make sure that I've got a good bond in there.
Right.
And then I'm going to cut my excess off the backside. And now I've got a mount for your Robart control box. You can still plug in, unplug here. You will be covering up your delay switch and your type switch here, but once you got your box you're done, you don't want to be messing with that anyway.
Right.
And we've got a nice foam pad behind it for vibration resistance, so your electronics and everything's not going to be messed with, and it's held in tight by your ZAP silicone tape.
And then to get it off, you cut it, and
Cut.
it's not sticking to anything or ripping anything off.
Correct.
That's
it.
awesome.
Same thing for your servos. You do the same type of thing for your servos, for any of your any of these electronics that you want mounted in your plane, and you want that vibration protection. This is a great way to do it.
Very interesting.
If you're tired of losing your pumps, right? You can put this around and just reach in, drop your pump in.
Okay.
Because your pumps for your accelerator come with a cap. It's kind of hard doing this vertically, isn't it? I'm not really showing you a ton. I'm sorry.
Get it.
But you've got your cap, throw a little silicone tape around the side, and now you got a little holder for your pump, and you keep all this together.
Yeah.
I've done that same thing with, if I've overcut the epoxy bottle, okay, take a piece of your silicone tape, and what I'll do is I'm going to put the cap back on so I don't get it all over the place. I will wrap the bottom here with the silicone tape. Now I take another section of the tape. Take my protective section off, sleeve off. Push that there, just give a little stretch. Hit that there. Now I've got a removable top for the silicone tape, or not your silicone tape, but for your epoxy. Right. You can put it back on there and it'll seal it up. So
Holy
you
cow.
don't get any guts in there, whatnot. So
it's pretty amazing how well it holds to itself.
Yeah. You don't super stretch it because you want just a little bit of room, and now you can pour it out, do what you need to do, and when you're done, throw a little bit over. So if you overcut your tip and you want to cover, that's another great way to do this.
Right.
So we use it around the shop here quite a bit. I keep this in keep the silicone tape here. I'm keeping the silicone tape in my car, in my boat, as we're traveling on shows. On the fishing side, a lot of customers are buying this for binding their fishing poles together.
Anything.
Right. Anything. The big one I'm finding lately is the fuel tank. So if you've got a rubber hose for a fuel line, this is fuel resistant. And as you know, the EPA, it's very expensive. Fuel lines are very expensive, especially those rubber fuel lines. So this will seal it up, and you can get back home. You then find something instead of always having to buy another fuel line while you're out and about.
Yeah, it's something that you just throw in your toolbox and have it, just like the Fix-A-Flats patches that I carry.
Yep, exactly.
Another patch type device. Well, this is pretty amazing, and I'm excited to share it with everyone because I've never even heard of it.
Yep. Well, let's get some out to you and have you try it and let the RC community know it's a great product.
Awesome. Well, all right, Mike, everyone, we've been talking to Mike from Robart with the ZAP silicone tape. In the description of the video, you'll find a link directly to the product and also to all the distributors in the U.S. And we'll try to make it as easy as possible for you to get your hands on it.
You got it. Well, thanks, Jim. I greatly appreciate it. Have yourself a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.